Okay, welcome to another episode. As you know, we always come along to you with a different kind of how you can minimize your budgets by trying to make some of these stuffs at home. And today we are trying to learn you, we are trying to teach you on how you can make your peanut butter at home. And with me, I have three types of peanuts here. And unfortunately, this one, I don't know the name. I threw the paper, so I don't know the name of but these ones, like the ones I have here, I have mixed two type of nuts. These are the cashew nuts. And these are the normal peanut nut, which I bought. And these ones, I've been chewing them. These ones are ready. It's the one that you buy, you eat like candies. I just tried. I just decided to add them because there are so many things that you can add to your food when you're making them, so that you can add just for the flavor. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm mixing them, the three of them, the groundnuts. In fact, let us call them the groundnuts, the ones that I had, the red ones, the groundnuts. These ones are the cashew nuts. These ones which I always eat them like candies. I don't know the name, but I know when I get the package, when I buy them next time, I'll try to check the name. So what you need when you are preparing your peanut butter, you just need a baking paper. Then you need, of course, somewhere the baking, here we call them the baking plots, but in English it's called the baking sheet. So after I have put now I've mixed the nuts, then the first step you are supposed to do is to prepare for yourself by making sure that you have all the ingredients that you require for making of your peanut butter. And then the first step is to put on the oven. So I know that the ovens have different heat depending on quality they make. So but the standard, I always tell people that the standard heat temperature for the oven, if you are not quite sure, just make sure that you have around 175 degrees, and that is what I put on my. Then I'm going to put my nuts in the oven. Then you let them be there, and as I always been telling you that the temperature and the oven, they vary. So I can give you approximate of 10 to 20 minutes, but keep on checking your nuts. How can you know that your nuts are ready? They'll be a little bit brown. Many people try to say black, but they'll say brown. They change color. When they change color, that's the time you know that your nuts are ready. Then you need, of course, empty tins where you're gonna preserve your nuts. Then you need some oil. And when you're putting, remember the nuts themselves, they have natural oil. Don't exaggerate your oil. The nuts that I put in the oven is allowed, we say 1 kilo 1 kilo of nuts, 1 kilo 40 grams there. Let's say 1 kilo. Then the other ingredient apart from oil, you need to have some honey. These are the ingredients that you add to your nuts. Then you, of course, every food that you make, you need some salt. And then you need this food processor is because is the one that you're going to clash your nuts with. So these are the only ingredients that you need to. Like, as I told you, that the amount of nuts you are making, it is the one that you depends on how much oil, how much ingredients. Like myself, I'm making I am using 1 kg of nuts. So I need some salt. Salt we eat different. When you're making food, train yourself to, that's why every chef you have to taste your food, so that you know how you balance the salt and the sugar. And because you can see that we are using sugar, which is in honey, the natural sugar. So I recommend someone to taste it's upon you as you. It can be very hard when you are a beginner. You know, on most of the beginners, they will have the exact recipe. But I will tell you that it takes maturity for someone to train yourself to balance, to learn on how you can balance the ingredients depending, because even the recipe that I give, they may be like, for my case, I don't take a lot of sugar. I don't like a lot of sugar. For somebody else, it may be, it would be better for her or him if she or he had some more honey. So it depends on you as an individual, but you can use my recipe as a guidance recipe to guide you in the process of making your peanut butter. Because this oven have been on for a while, as I told you that, and you can add your heat if you observe that, like if you want to your peanut to be a little bit faster, you can add the amount of heat. The main thing is when you add the amount of heat or you reduce, a good chef or a good baker, you just don't put the things on the oven, or you just start cooking food and you start with other things without minding on what you are cooking. You have to keep on checking how the food are being processed, how the foods are being cooked. You have to keep on. Sometimes they may need that you turn them. That are the ground rules for somebody to avoid doing mistakes with your cooking or your baking. And so we are going to wait for the nuts they be ready. Then we are going to continue processing them. Okay. Now we have, there is a process that we have not shown you here, that we have taken the nuts. You can see that we don't have the baking sheet. Now we have changed from the baking sheet to this kind of whipped thing, because after we took the peanuts, the nuts from the oven, we had to let them cool a bit. If let me take this one, you can be able to see them clearly, that you can see that the nuts have changed colors. You can see there is brownish colors in the nuts. You can see that is the time you realize that your nuts are ready. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put them in this food processor, the whole of them. Now you can see the importance of using the baking sheet, that you have to remove, if you want to cool the nuts very quickly, you have to lift them from the baking sheet to another place which is a little bit cooler, because when you cook them in the baking sheet, remember it's still warm. It can take you time, but if you have time, it's very okay. This is salt, so I'm going to put I always use my hands to measure salt. Here we just you just in the language here we just you say that you take some you just take with your top of with your tips of your fingers, then you know but we're gonna taste. Of course, and we know this is honey. This is like these. I started with 3 teaspoons honey. Maybe it may not be enough. We're gonna see. So I know there is so many kinds of honey, but for the time being, because there is another one which is liquid. You can use any honey you want or you have at home. These are flower. These are different kinds of flowers, honey. We have here in Scandinavian. Maybe it may not be found in other nations. And the one that is liquid is a little bit, it's more sweet. So when you're using that one, be very careful. You may need not as much as I have used, because this one is purposely for cooking, for baking and cooking. But the other one, you know, the other one which is liquid is mostly used for as food, that you take it direct. That is the difference. And then we are going to use the oil you have. Now I'm going to use the olive oil, and because the nuts themselves, they have, this is just 1 teaspoon. I'll just use 1.5, because me and oil, because the nuts themselves, they have oil. So be very careful on how you, because you don't need to. If you have problem with cholesterol, even you can afford, you can just do it without oil.